have a question and answer session at the end of everything. So I think we'll just take about 2 or 3 questions between sessions. So now I'd like to move on to Mr. Botha and
Or just Nico.
Nico.
Okay. So, I'm very happy and feel fortunate to be here to chat to you guys. In my role, and I'll tell you what I do in a second, which I still figure out every day. I'm very passionate about transformation here, and to be able to work with young folks like yourself, and Brandon and I come a while now. I feel very fortunate to do that. I will say a lot of things, and a lot of things is going to come your way today. Now, the one thing that just struck me now is how overwhelming the whole CA thing was for me when I studied that. Okay, it's very easy to get sucked in and drown in the overwhelmingness. So a lot of things that we'll share with you guys today, take it on board, but don't be too hard on yourself that I have to do this now. Okay, a lot of these things come over time. So I'll say a lot of things, and I had one manager in one of my previous roles who said to me, it's like drinking from a fire hose. All the stuff that's going to come at you at the moment. So don't walk away here more scared. The idea is that you walk away here inspired. Now, when I share some of my things, this is a caveat coming your way now. When I share with you stuff tonight, and it sounds arrogant, it's not arrogant. What I'm trying to illustrate to you is if I, Nico, can be and achieve where I got to, where I'm today, versus where I came from and how I struggled, every one of you can do that. Okay, so I'm not trying to sit here and boast about what I achieved. It's trying to give you the confidence that if I can do it, and I'm genuine, this is coming from a sincere place, you can do that. Okay, so my name is Nico Botha. I'm currently the CFO and Chief Operating Officer for Citibank in South Africa. I've been with Citibank for 8 years. I've been in banking now for 14 years. I qualified. No, I'm not that old. I finished my articles in 2003, Feb of 2004. I got Bold 2 results, so then I was CA. I'm lying. 2006, I got results. And I did my articles at a firm called Merce Rowland, just down the road here in Victoria. So a small firm, not like him. I wasn't a superstar. I couldn't get a big 4 articles. Okay, I applied. Mazars, Merce Rowland, now they're called Mazars. Which in hindsight, again, if I look back at my career, it was great because I had been with KPMG for a while after that. And I could see that's, for me, what I learned at a small firm versus a big firm, and that made me more rounded. Okay, it gave me more resilience. I love that to again bring me to where I am today. Clearly, there's 9 ways to skin a cat here. And that's your point. When you go, especially, and I'm not bad mouthing Tex, they're fantastic, and they have probably one of the best records. But that can be adding to that dauntingness, okay? Because it gives you this perfect route, and this is what a CA should do, and it's not the be all end all, but they're fantastic at how they educate. Okay, so I left South Africa 2007. My wife is a CA as well. She's a year behind me. I waited for her to qualify, and then we packed our little bags and went off to London, which was going to be 6 months of just working, contract working. It was before the credit crisis. We were going to travel. Life was great. And 6 months and 2 suitcases ended up in 10 years, 3 kids in a 40-foot container. and we moved back, and it was fantastic. I started my career there with Goldman Sachs. I then moved to Credit Suisse. I then moved to UBS, which is a Swiss bank, and then I joined Citigroup, which is, I don't know if you know, but they're one of the largest banks in the world. They employ about 260,000 people. They're in 100 countries in the world, so the biggest bank in terms of how many countries we operate in. And I'm now part of the South African operation. Before this, I was in London, and with the biggest international bank in South Africa. And I love banking. I love what I do. And again, CA gave me that. I wouldn't have been able to do that without CA. So I grew up in Polokwane. Was in Polokwane terms one of the very top academic students, but not straight A's and stuff. Came to university, and like you said, second year, man, that was a shock to the system. I struggled. It was really tough for me. to get through CA. I'm so glad you said you failed board 2 because I failed board 1 once, made it the second time. I actually wrote board 1 and 2 in the same year because if you had a certain amount of articles, you were allowed to do that. You know. I joke actually because I waited for my wife because that way we did the exam at the same time and got married in the same year. Anyway, I struggled. You know, in hindsight, why it was so difficult for me is because what they fail to teach you at any university, not just us, what they fail to teach you, they teach you the theory, but they don't teach you real world to what the theory applies. And I struggled. It's when I started doing articles and then really when I got into banking that I now appreciated how all these things fit in and why I studied. And that's when I sit down with the Brandons of the world and I have a couple of other young guys that I kind of mentor is I try to give them that big picture. First picture, you know, what the organization looked like or corporate South Africa or a listed entity, what they're about. And then auditing it or the accounting standards makes so much more sense, you know, because there's a really good reason why an accounting standard is written that way. There's a really good reason why tax law is that way. But when you don't understand the context that it fits into, it's difficult for me. Yeah, and that's a tip that I would give you guys is that you know when you have spare time, read financial news, read up on stuff, and when you read an article, there's probably 80% of stuff in there you won't know. And then you make a note and you go on Investopedia or Wikipedia or you ask. It's that inquisitive mindset that really helped me somehow scrape through and then throughout my career. Okay. Anyway, so that's me. I'll stop there because I can have a lot more to say. I'll just stop there for now. But the takeaway is, I struggled. When I saw the big picture, it really came together for me. And if somebody like me that really scraped it, I'm not even going to give you detail on how much scraping I had to do and praying. And my folks, I mean, they were joking. Their knees were scraped through for all the praying. Then any of you can do that. You guys are very talented. I could just see in the way you spoke here. Now, how many years into my career, I'm extremely good at quickly summarizing a room of people. I'm very good at summarizing personalities and summarizing audience. And I can see you guys are very talented. There's an energy here. So let me just pause there.
Is there anyone else who has questions, perhaps?
An easy question. No, I'm joking. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
I've got a question. There's this whole myth, I don't know what to call it, but basically, if you want to go into banking and you're doing accounting sciences, CA stream, is it taking the longer route of just simply doing financial sciences and honors and going into banking? Because I remember I asked one of my friends who works in banking now, and he wants to go into CIB, and they basically told him, well, the people that work there, that he basically wasted his time taking the longer, harder route when he could have gone financial sciences and honors. So if you want to wind up at a bank, preferably CIB route, is CA stream the whole yard really worth it?
Yeah. So let me just make sure I understand the question. Is your question basically should you do your articles inside public practice or outside?
No, should you do the whole CA stream? So should you finish your degree in accounting sciences through CTA, do your articles A to Z?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
No
doubt in my mind. Listen, so a couple of things. I've seen CAs from all over the world. The great thing about working in London is there's so many different cultures, nationalities. South Africa, Australia, Canada, Pakistan and India, top CAs in the world, okay? I know we recorded, but CPA in America doesn't get close. I would even say the UK one doesn't get close in how we get trained. What's nice about South Africa is CA is still the business acumen. When you go to the UK, and I struggled with that for a while, because there's a while I wanted to get into investment banking, because probably 80% of you think that's sexy and that's where the money is and that's what you want to do, and I can give you insights in that as well. But the nice thing about South Africa is it's a business acumen. In the UK and other countries, if you're an accountant, you're an accountant. They do MBA, that's their business acumen. Okay. But I can tell you the way that our CA program is structured, and yep, it's challenging, but I can tell you if you get through it and you can continue to persevere, the things that you learn and the techniques that you learn and the way you develop your thinking, your solutionist thinking, it sets us apart from a lot of other professions. And that's why you have now 75% of CEOs on JSE are still CAs, top entrepreneurs. And I would even encourage you to do that in public practice, not even in the what's the tip and top? Yeah. Because again, doing articles, and you'll find how many folks drop out after articles because auditing is not for everybody. Not because it's not lacquer. It's that's not what you enjoy doing. But still, you have to get through it because let me give you an example. Now, as CFO and even COO for the bank, controls are super important. If you don't have a controlled business, okay, now control is a big umbrella. If you don't have a controlled business, you're going to somewhere lose money through penalties or fraud or being sanctioned. Doing auditing, going through clients, understanding where to identify risk areas and why there should be controls and tests, it further develops you, adds that sprinkle on top of the cake. Once you've done that, and now you've seen different clients, different sectors, now you can decide this is what I want to do, or you're much better place to say, here I want to specialize, because somewhere you'll have to specialize in your career, really to go up. But the risk is when you do that too early, 5 years down the line, you find, I really like it. And then to change, you're going to have to take a step down.
One of the things that people who have completed their first board exams and they fail, or their second board exam and they fail, is that they don't get enough exposure being rotated enough at an accounting firm. So how would you suppose that one actually proposes or like asks to be rotated without really overstepping policies?
Yeah, you see, this is coming to my earlier point where you get the theory, but not always the practical perspective. Now, I don't know, do you still write board one basically 3 months into your first year of article?
1 month.
So it's impossible. If they can rotate you every day, you're not going to get the exposure you need. So I wouldn't depend on that to give me the exposure. That's the bit I would take personally on your extra time to go and learn and educate yourself on the different sectors. You're not going to get that practical experience. Unless, like me, you decide to fail the first one, it's a learning opportunity. I want more experience and write it the second time. But so I wouldn't. What's great about what really helped me in Board 2 is the articles. That understanding auditing. Board 2 was much easier for me because I've had that practical experience. But Board 1, I don't think you're going to get it just by the way it's set up.
Just to extend on that as well, I think you also referring to the recent stats of Part 2, where the pass rate was so low. And one of the commentary was that as audit firms, people who fail have not been rotated enough on different clients. But Nico made an interesting point earlier to say Part 2 is different to when Nico and I wrote it now, right? And I've seen the papers. I believe it produces the right kind of CAs that the market is looking for. So if you're not going to read Financial Mail business section of the newspaper, you're not equipping yourself well enough because that's the type of a CA we're looking for. Over and above that, it is important that you read outside your normal work and your standards. You read and read, and I think that's very important that you do. And that's what we found. And if you look at Part 2, it's nothing technical, well, very limited technical on that, but it's about daily things in the business world. And you have to be quite aware